and junk drawer. Hey,
Hi.
Glee. It's that
What's
feeling
up,
you
guys?
get when your heart finally lets your something get in. I have the community thing stuck in my head.
Oh yeah, when it gets in your pants or something like that. I
Yeah,
remember.
something
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
spinning cameras.
Mr. Rad.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
How you
We
doing?
are back with another episode of Dungeons and Dragons and Junk Drawer, and I hope you are just as excited as we all are. We are going to kind of jump right in real quick, starting off first with Joshua Delgado.
Whoa.
Shout out, what you got, buddy? I think this is the
Uh,
first time I've ever gone you first.
yeah, I was not expecting it. Um,
Haha.
a negative shout out to Discord for not working for both Pat and Carlos at different times.
Fuck
And a
you,
shout
Discord.
out to Donovan. Well, fuck you. I'm not coming back to RuneScape.
Also, fuck you, Donovan.
Yeah, fuck you, Donovan. I don't
Up
hear any
next.
audio coming from Twitch right now. Just if anyone else can check.
I'm muted. Nope, I
So
hear
no
me.
one heard any of that. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I think you're just muted, Mike.
Weird. I unmuted it and I still can't hear nothing. So interesting.
Well, because Mike messed everything up. Justin, what do you got? Who do you want to shout
Yeah.
out?
Oh, hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh,
Shout
you're here
out,
too?
yeah, you guys are here. Shout out to Belts for once again keeping my pants up. I want to thank our friends at Mythical Portal Games, Credible Heroes, Kev's Lounge, the incomparable David Hemingway, Gabriel Pickard, or Pickard, depending on where we go tonight, and the Brass Badger Workshop for some of their really cool tokens. Also would like to shout out the network. It sounds like I'm in a cult, but I'm not. Really great, cool community, awesome streamers. Check them out and all that fun stuff.
You also haven't been there long enough to know if it's a cult or not. So,
I mean, there's some really persuasive literature that I'm really excited to look at.
You know that
You
if
get
you
to
hit
see the
level
color
17,
blurple.
you get to see the color blurple.
Yeah.
up next, playing wonderfully known as Thok. Carlos, shout out, homie.
That's me. I just want to give a shout out to Random Encounter Productions. That's the other group that I stream with on Monday nights is when I usually am with them. But they're still doing their Stream-mageddon. I think they're coming to an end to it soon, since
we're all gonna die.
some of us are actually potentially going back to work in the next week. After the last 2 months. So, check them out whenever you're not with us at Random Encounter Prod, P-R-O-D on Twitch. You can check them out at Random Encounter Production on Instagram and YouTube. So, yeah.
And last but certainly not least, no, he didn't eat Ninja and change his hair. He's just Mike. What you got, buddy?
That was some kind of segue. like your brain's at like half function right now, isn't it?
100%.
No, he didn't just eat a guy and change his hair. He just changed his hair.
It's all the paint fumes.
But yeah, no. Make sure
There's
you're
primer in
following
the
us on
paint now.
Instagram at the Junk Drawer Show and following us on Twitter at Junk Drawer Show. We need some more follows on Twitter because we'd like to do that. Pat and I, our NFL podcast is up and going again. We got some new episodes of that coming out. And then we also have Josh and Justin's Road to Freaks. I believe they took a hiatus this week, but should be back next week. And I actually just put out a new episode of Mike's Untitled Soccer Show yesterday. So if you want to check that out, I'd greatly appreciate it. And shout out to Mal, my girlfriend, for giving me green hair that I'm pretty stoked on, even though I look like a Baja Blast, because that wasn't what I thought was going to happen when we started it.
You thought it was going to be original Mountain Dew.
Yep, that's what I was going for.
So you guys
Like,
were
it's one of those
sitting in the
pleasant
kitchen,
surprises.
and Mike was just like, I want to look like this. And then he chugged a 2-liter bottle of Baja Blast.
Change it. Actually, no, I
And
don't
now
think so.
all of his sperm is dead.
Or Hyperveryl. Just shoots through the egg.
His kid's going to be the first superhero.
He's going to be a
Here's your
genius. Here's your sperm.
So I will shout out Discord, fuck you. I will also shout out my lovely wife who allows me to talk to you schmoes every week and play pretend with you. I appreciate her more than words. I would also like to shout out Wormwood, because I made my first Wormwood purchase this week. I ordered a gemstone D20, and I'm pretty excited to get that. So shout out to Wormwood. I appreciate you and all that you do and your dope ass products. So please give us money.
Bougie.
Is it your birthstone?
The end. It is not, but I thought it was a really cool color, so I bought it.
Blurple.
So I was like, what's $20?
$20.
Exactly. So I was like, why not? And then
That's
I
fair.
did it. So, with all of that being said, DM whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Okay, great. On that note, so previously when we were all together, we were in the wake of the demon boars of Adam and Ruby. Basically, the four of you found Ashiki at one point, very injured and hurt, trying to gather information for you guys. You lost your map. Everyone is slightly cross with you after finding out that you're all prisoners or escapees, however you'd like to spin it.
Thank you.
And we basically ended with a big kind of like everyone airing their grievances over a bottle of whiskey in the middle of the woods. It got real emotional there. So we let's pick up from the night. Is anyone continuing to drink, or is everyone just going straight to bed? That's mostly what my question is.
Dragon's drunk as fuck, so...
Donner's not drinking at all.
That's right.
If there's drinks, I'm drinking.
I
Okay.
think at this point, Alda has probably drunk himself into a situation where he's ready for bed.
Okay.
Like, let me put this. If there's still a party going on, Dremel's about it, but otherwise, he'll pass the fuck out.
You guys are the party.
Oh, shit. There's that ego
Got
boost
it.
I need.
The adventuring party. Hey.
Oh,
No, you got the
Lame.
monsters. So yeah, you you guys kind of spend the rest of the night drinking, having more philosophical conversations about Pinterest boards and the secret. Just kind of recounting your adventures and kind of coming up with this game plan of what you're going to do in the morning. So you all get the benefits of a full night's sleep, albeit some of you are a little sensitive to light in the morning. I'm going to assume, even if you're hungover, Dremel, you get up to meditate, to shake off the hangover.
Yeah, I am a man of discipline.
Okay.
he's
So
a cow of discipline.
I'm a
He is
cow
a-
of discipline.
So, Drummel, you go off into the woods. You go off to where that giant rock is again, and you saw Donner sitting on before, and you kind of just sit where he was sitting and breathe in. Go ahead and make a wisdom save for me.
16.
16. As you're kind of concentrating, you still hear kind of like crackling of wood from your village, and the occasional screams of terror. Very low, deep voices talking to you in giant. Before you kind of like look up and you're in a little bit of a cold sweat as you drop your phony face and put on your happy face. And as the suns start to crest, you fucking look for him. And you kind of circle and look around you're waiting for Paul to come out. Or if Paul's watching you, you don't know.
Yeah. Not today, Paul.
Okay. So while he's doing that, Donner, you're actually the second to kind of wake up because you did not drink and you had a very nice sleep. Soothing, even. Restful. You don't have a headache. It's pretty fantastic. So you get up and you see that Dremel is already gone. His bedroll is already kind of haphazardly thrown to the side, and Thok is kind of doing that little kid thing where their head is like face down and their butt's up, and they're just kind of like just to get into a proper angle. And then for some reason, Alder's just kind of sleeping like this because I feel like he wouldn't sleep on his face. So, thank you. So you kind of walk your way down and you see that most of the kids have these makeshift sleeping bags made about them. Some of them are had little tents under different tables. And you can kind of see into the far corner of this stool that Charlotte is. Her arms are kind of crossed and her head is kind of down as you see her shoulders kind of rise up and down. You open the tavern doors and you see that the suns are just starting to peak, and there's that pink sky that's hitting.
Is that all of us in there? Did we all walk in the tavern together?
Yeah,
No.
I would. You all slept in the tavern together. Right now, Donner's outside the tavern, and you're outside the tavern.
All right.
You're up early for someone who drank their weight in whiskey last night.
Like I said, I'm a man of discipline.
Who did you say that to?
I said, shit, that was to myself. I do morning affirmations, and that's one of my affirmations. And
I know what that word means. I'm good.
yeah, it's
We're
like,
fine.
yeah, cool. So I don't have to explain it.
Nope.
Yeah. Did Donner, did you mention, this is out of character real quick, did you mention your experience, like talking to your friend?
No. I did mention that I was a prince, and that was it.
I
Okay.
thought you said you talked to your best friend.
You did.
Did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
I said that.
All right. Yeah, so, like, crazy. I could have sworn you said that you were talking to your best friend, and I don't remember talking to you before that, so that's, like, cool or whatever, but what?
Did I? I mean, you're my best friend here. Like, we're, best friends here and now. But I've known this guy since, like, birth. We kind of grew up together. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings if I did.
Yeah, it's cool, it's cool. It's just like how there's multiple first places and, like, multiple kings and, I have multiple wives. It's whatever. It's fine.
Multiple princes, it just kind of works that way.
Yeah.
You can be best friend number 1A, and he's just going to be best friend number 1.0, or you could be 2.0, which means you're better.
Shit, 2 is double.
2's double. You could be 3.0 if you want, but I won't go any higher than that.
That seems
no
fair.
negotiations.
How tall is he?
DM, about how tall is my best friend?
He's slightly taller than you. I'd say he's about 6'6", 6'7".
So he's like 6'7". He's a little taller than me, barely, but he is.
Cool. Yeah. Like, how much can he lift?
DM, how much can he lift?
You have seen him lift quite a lot.
I've seen him lift quite a lot. Him and I kind of go kind of crazy when we get together.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I can lift like a whole lot, which is more than quite a lot. But yeah, I'll be 1A. I'll be 1A. That's cool.
You are definitely taller, if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, so I mean that just makes me better, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the taller you are, the better you are as a person. That's why Alder is upset all the time, because he's small.
Oh, that makes sense. I understand that now. That's why we have
The
to stop
feelings
picking on
don't
him
have
so
as far
much.
to go, so he just feels them faster. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he's one of them sensitives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. I'll be 1A. You're also my 1A. I have a best friend also. He goes to a different school.
Is it in this place? I've heard it before. I think it's called Canada.
Oh yeah, it's pronounced Canada, but like you're not from there, so you wouldn't like you don't have a best friend there, so I'm not surprised you can't pronounce it.
I, I don't have a best friend there. You have no reason to be threatened. I can have multiple best friends. Giffen and I have we've been through a lot together. So,
The name still stings, but okay. Um, all right, well let's go inside, and I put my arm around him, and I say, "Best friend, 1A."
okay, okay, best friend.
And as I walk in, I kick open the door and I say, "Hey everyone, it's the best friends here. Better than all the other best friends. Fuck you."
So, as you say that, Charlotte jolts awake, and you hear several children jolt awake as some of them like look up and they're bleary-eyed. I would say it's like 6:30 in the morning as the suns are still coming up. As you boisterously kind of come in and announce your presence, and Charlotte kind of wipes the eye gunk out of her eyes and goes, "Oh, that's really nice."
Yeah, you were
guys look
doing
really
a good
chummy.
job on the watch. It was great. It was a strong watch you were doing there. It was nice.
Was that just Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she goes, "Sleeping is essential, is it not?"
I didn't say it wasn't.
Wasn't keeping guard.
I mean, you could have been. You don't know.
I think I do.
Maybe.
What is this? And
We're
she
best
gestures
friends.
to all of you.
We're just,
Oh no, I see that.
yeah, we're best friends. So,
That's right.
Okay, best friends.
Is everyone
And she-
downstairs?
I don't know if I would figure Thok and Alder, depending on how hard Thok went, because I assume Alder, any kind of like getting drunk would cause you to, sleep in a lot later than you normally would.
Yeah, I'd say I'm definitely a little bit. I would say I'm a little bit more slept in than I normally would be, but at the same time, also acknowledging the fact that we have to get out of Dodge quick. I'm also would still probably be somewhat quick to rise.
Okay. And Thok, how hard did you go last night?
Oh, I went hard.
Thok's going to be the last one up.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say you probably have like an hour or two to kill before Alder wakes up, and then probably several more hours until Thok wakes up.
oh, good.
Hey,
So-
Charlotte, can
And
I grab a drink?
She goes, "It's 6:30 in the morning. You ought to have a drink now."
Yeah, you know the saying. It's like hair of the hellhound.
I don't think that's a saying, but. And she gets up. She goes, "What do you want?"
What do you got?
And she displays these different kind of spirits of different clarity of browns and clears. There's kind of like a grimy. I wouldn't say it's like yellow, but it's tinted differently than say in a pure clear.
That's
And
big.
then we got a few ales.
You know what? Let's do an ale.
Okay. And you see her, and she takes out and she pulls this long ale, and you see the head of the ale, and it's foaming at the top. As it's going to be warm. There is no refrigeration, but she slides it over to you as she kind of turns around, and you see her kind of clanking around for pots and pans, looking to start making breakfast for everyone.
Thank you kindly. Hey, Donna, you want one?
No, I'm all right for now. I would like you got any water?
And she looks at you and she goes, "Yeah, I can get some from the well in the back. Just give me a few moments."
Yeah, take your time. It's early, and you were kind of woken up aggressively friendly, aggressively, something like that.
I would
Those are the
say
words.
I would say that, like, overly aggressively friendly.
Yeah, but it was nice. Like if you had to wake up, pick a way to be woken up aggressively, it would be in the friendly way. So
I mean, I guess that depends on who you're around and, all that. But yeah, I'll be right back. And you see her. She puts a few of the pots down, and you hear her kind of leave through the back entrances. Drummel, you and Donner are kind of just sitting at the bar as you hear small whispers from the kids behind you as some of them are getting up and some of them are going back to sleep.
hey, who's whispering?
No one.
Oh, okay. Nobody's whispering. Never mind, Dremel. We can keep
Okay.
talking about all of our adventures.
Oh, good. Remember that time that there was a giant rock and we climbed on top of it?
I do remember that. And then we took a nap there.
Yeah, we took a nap because that's what good, upstanding folk do. Sleep.
Yeah. And ate our vegetables there.
Oh, we had so many vegetables.
So
what did
many.
we had? We had spinach.
We had some sprouts of some kind. It was great.
Oh, those are great sprouts, man. You grew those
Sprouts.
yourself, right?
I did. I've got a green thumb.
Man,
Allegedly.
Isn't it great when you help out your friends?
It's so
Dremel
great.
almost as parents.
Yikes. Somebody gets and some of it sounds like they're whoever is awake is listening to you guys as you're talking about vegetables and parents.
This story pales in comparison to that crazy, scary troll monster we fought in the cave. That story, nobody wants to hear that story, so.
And you see about like 5 or 6 kids poke their heads out of their like makeshift tents. They're like, we want to hear the story.
No, well, the vegetable story, right? The one where we're eating carrots.
You're given with this very negative response as they start getting a little bit louder as more of the kids are starting to wake up and they start kind of communicating with each other that they're going to hear a story about a scary troll. Because most of the stories that Drummel's been telling them has been about Paul, so they're pretty jazzed about a different story.
All right, and I guess Donna is going to kind of lead the story for this endeavor. And he starts describing the troll and how big it was, and he kind of starts walking like it and talks about the other animals that were in there and Farkle. He definitely references Farkle.
Rip.
As he's telling the story, I start casting minor illusions to illustrate what he's doing or to embellish whatever he does.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're accompanied by a very like animated version of Zengu. A very
Zengu.
animated version of Zengu, and his 5 arms are noodly and wavily. Just basically, you kind of Toon Worlded all the monsters in the story.
Perfect.
Good reference. But you are they are entranced by your story, and you're able to tell it for a good like 30 minutes. You go into every detail. It's like, and then we went down the elevator and we had 2 other friends and one of them blew up the cavern. And then we got separated and then we met this old lady. Like you eventually start going through the whole kind of rigmarole.
Slid down a waterfall and
Exactly. You make it sound like it was, how much better it would have been through the eyes, through the lens of a child.
and then we ate more vegetables. It was amazing.
And did our homework.
Massive groan, and then you just hear one like, I like vegetables.
You're my favorite. I don't know if I've told you this, but you are.
And you say, thank you. During this whole exchange, eventually you're able, Alder, you're kind of woken up by kid laughter, which, because it's daytime, it's not scary. So, well, laughter, and you hear like Donner talking and Dremel embellishing whatever Donner's talking about. Eventually, you kind of like, your hair is mushed to the side because you don't normally sleep. You got like bed head, and you kind of go
you're a
out.
monster.
You lean forward on the banister, and you're watching this story unfold as you see a very animated Donner kind of, Donner's Donner. He's not incredibly animated when it comes to anything because he's usually confused. But you see like this other kind of side of him where it's almost gentle. As, we know that Dremel is the charismatic one, quote unquote. As you hear about the story of the mighty Zengu and finding Vindrin and coming to White Willow.
Obviously, when the story gets over, I'll kind of walk up and be like, sounds even crazier hearing it back again, huh?
I don't know how we survived, to be completely honest with you. It was probably all the vegetables, and he kind of looks back.
And the homework we did.
Oh!
Did you guys mention the fact that when Thok didn't eat his vegetables or do homework, he got turned into stone?
Oh, no, I forgot to mention that part. That was why he turned into stone, not because of the other snake monster things that I think were basilisks, but I can't remember.
Well, his mineral levels were too low, so he got turned into a mineral.
It's right. If he would have done his homework and eaten his vegetables at the same time, he would know those minerals needed to be higher, and then he would have learned to eat more vegetables, and he wouldn't have turned to stone.
Sound logic.
We're just looking at you, just very wide-eyed. What?
Yeah.
Moral of the story,
if you don't want
eat
to
your
turn into
veggies.
stone.
Eat rocks.
All of them just look very, I wouldn't say disturbed, but, they're not happy. They don't look pumped about the new information they've just been given.
We're great with kids.
You guys are great. During this time, obviously, Charlotte has come back, and there's a large pitcher of water in a glass for you. As the smell of potatoes and different kind of root vegetables and, some kind of protein is being cooked up in this giant kind of wok skillet. As she's doing it in batches because there are a lot of mouths to feed. As the kids are starting to get up and being a little bit more active and pushing each other and being kids.
I'll hand one of them a hand axe. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that.
Oh, well, one of them does have a pickaxe, so.
He does.
You
I
did
gave that
do
to him
that.
on purpose,
And
though.
for some reason, there's only 25 kids now. No, but
Hey, know which kid to pick on. Not the one with an axe.
yeah.
And then we
or the
buried
kid who
Billy
eats
in the morning.
So yeah, the three of you are kind of like sitting at the bar as breakfast is being made, occasionally glancing over your shoulder to make sure none of the kids like jumped off one of the tables and cracked their head open. As you kind of prepare what you're going to do for that day, how you're going to leave White Willow.
I'm going to go upstairs after we eat and wake up Thok so that we can kind of get it moving.
Okay. So as you're kind of eating and you finish up, you walk up to Thok's room, and Thok is just drool kind of coming out, half of his face. He's a face sleeper, definitely. As he's very deeply snoring. You haven't been around for a sleeping Thok before because you greatly avoided it, but I think now's your shot.
All right. So I'm going to go up and kind of crouch down and just poke him in the face until he wakes up.
I don't wake up.
Doesn't wake up.
Okay. How do, okay.
Give him the people's elbow. Just do it.
Punch him in the face.
I stand up. And I stand right at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say it's like 10 feet away from him?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. And then I'll just thunderclap.
Oh, good. So you, this massive. Thok, you're very sensitive to sound this morning, along with some light, as it feels like both of your eardrums just decided to explode, reform, and then explode again. As you hear this very loud ringing that you can relate to whenever a cannon was fired on your ship, or that giant flamethrower that destroyed a whole cavern. as you kind of like jolt up, and you kind of just see this blonde hair just like moving out of the doorway.
That time, Absidy rolled a natural 20 and threw a Molotov cocktail into an exploding
into Peggy's wagon.
Yeah.
Good times.
As I like shoot up, I instinctively like reflex. I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to slam the door shut right in Donner's face. Just like done.
Okay. And your face is like right there, so you get clocked in the nose as you're kind of like moving, and clock is up now.
Oh, what the fuck?
Why'd you hit me with the door?
Donna, I'll use it to slam the door back open.
Ow.
Why'd you do that? Whatever the fuck you did.
I mean, I poked you in the face like 12 times and you didn't wake up. So, order of operations is poke you in the face, you didn't wake up, thunderclap. It's just kind of how it goes.
I'll keep that in mind. I need to learn thunderclap. What is it? Is it already that time?
It is. I've already eaten. So you need to eat because we have some road we need to travel.
Okay. I'll be down there in a minute. Give me a second.
Just by the by, like, take it, leave it, whatever. Put your armor on. And Donna smiles and walks out the door.
How about no?
Donna's gone.
I slam the door shut again. I look around. Is Manu around?
After a few moments of kind of hazy, he is also very hazy looking as he's kind of sitting at the foot of the bed. Went a little hard last night.
Yeah. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for you. Do you, I don't know, ever have like dreams or visions or I don't know about like sand and drumming, potentially someone whispering your name in the back of your head, like kind of shit?
I mean, when I was messing with you, yes.
That was you.
Well, my patron, but I didn't call your name at any point recently since I died.
So you didn't do it like, damn, when did it happen again? Yesterday?
Mm-hmm. You had it about like 24 hours ago, 48 hours ago.
Like in the last like 2 days.
Oh, no, it was when you got shot in the knee. So like less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks at you and he goes, you also lost a lot of blood from your leg and you passed out from shock. Are you sure it wasn't like, I don't know, hallucination or something?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Oh, well. I'm gonna just start getting up and putting on. I'll put on the bottom half of my armor.
Okay.
But I'm not putting on the chest piece or anything from the waist up. It'll still just be my casual.
Okay.
From the waist up, but
Rocking
I'll
the
put
kilt.
on the legs.
Okay. So you kind of put on the cod piece, the shin guards, the boots that you have. And Manu is just kind of sitting there. And you do this slowly because everything is still sensitive. The drapes are drawn, but still there's like slivers of light that kind of come in and agitate. And he just kind of watches you as you put the armor on, and he takes notice as you kind of rope up the chest plate and the shield to your back like a backpack. And he goes, "You're not putting the rest of that on?"
Oh. I don't see a reason to put it on right now. Maybe when we go on out on and start traveling, I'll put it on then. It's heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it looks heavy, so fair enough. And you kind of start moving towards the door, and as you open it, you look back, and Manu is gone. By the time you kind of get downstairs, all the kids are kind of clamored to one corner, and it looks like they're whispering about something.
I'll have my hat of disguise on my head. I'm not gonna activate it or anything. I'll say that it looks like a tricorn hat, just a pirate hat, and I'll have it like tilted as far low as possible to like dim any light at all.
Okay.
And just slowly make my way to wherever everybody else is.
Occasionally, there's like a kid shriek because kids are loud. But you kind of like navigate your way to the bottom. Just like fuck it. As the other three you see a very disheveled, hungover, different colored green Thok as he kind of like leans on the banister. You see like he's getting those dry heave burps like and you see he has the hat and kind of sits next to you guys, and you kind of just get a very low hum going as the three of you are now the four of you.
Need a drink?
Yeah. No. What kind of drink?
Too late. I already reach over the bar and start pouring him a glass of mead or ale. Hair of the hellhound, my friend.
No.
Charlotte looks at you and she goes, "No, don't do that to him." And she kind of moves the mug, and she goes, "I'm making coffee. Just try not to throw up on the bar, please."
Man, Thok,
Thank you.
if only you had eaten your vegetables.
I know. Remind me to eat them next time.
You got it, buddy. I pat him on the back really hard.
So as Charlotte's kind of fixing everything up, she kind of looks at the four of you and she goes, "Mentioned that you guys were looking to head out today. Is it you guys are leaving in the morning, afternoon? Just curious. Want to make sure that you guys are well fed. You guys got things and shit."
That's kind of oldest thing. So he's the one. He hasn't really told us what he plans to do, but it's kind of up to him.
So you don't know what you're doing.
No idea.
And she kind of chuckles as she finishes pouring Thok this coffee. And she goes, "Sounds about right." As she goes back over to the back of the kitchen.
Mike, your microphone is really quiet, by the way.
It is?
Yeah, you're
No.
mad quiet.
You're like really quiet.
Is this better?
No, not
you,
Justin, you're
Justin.
fine.
Oh,
Mike.
How about now? Is it any better?
No, it's incredibly quiet.
What the hell?
I noticed you were trying to talk, and I was like, wait. I'm like, I think he's trying to talk, but we can't hear him.
I don't know what changed with it.
Did it change microphones? Like, is it your headset mic that's on? Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
I'll leave the call and come right back.
There are two places that people like to go.
Am I sounding any better now?
Oh, yes.
Now you're peeking.
Okay, cool. I'll just send it down a smidgen. I don't know what happened. I think Skype decided to be a butthole.
Coronavirus.
See, you guys have
Did your
problems
mic
with
get
Discord.
corona?
I'm having problems with Skype. The only thing we can blame is the coronavirus.
Always.
So now that technical difficulties are gone, time in. I think he'd be saying to Charlotte, I think our best bet is to get out of here as soon as we possibly can. We know that they're probably going to come back looking for us, and we don't want to put you or anyone else in town in any more danger. So I think it's best for us to get out. I have a way that we can travel pretty quickly to get as far away from here as possible. And I think it's probably going to be our best bet to get to Foaming Waters and hopefully beat them there, because there's probably going to be some information that they want there as well. So,
just real quick, Alder. It smells like you're trying to smuggle a bottle of whiskey out of the bar. I just want you to know that when you talk, like, I'm getting contact drunk. I just wanted you to know.
thank you.
So,
I'll get you contact caffeinated after I have my morning coffee, all right?
I love it.
kiss.
Hey, that's how you do it.
Maybe we should start telling people we're going. Thok, where was that place you came from?
Where I got arrested?
Yeah, where's that place?
Flamingo Bay. That's the thing. I don't know exactly where it is, but that was the name of the town I got arrested in.
Oh, that's fine. Maybe we start telling people that's where we're going.
Hey, everyone. We're going to Flamingo Bay.
Yeah, but that's also where Charlotte's, or not Charlotte, Naldra's from. She ain't in here, right?
No, she's with
Perfect.
Grace and Rosalie.
I don't want to give her false hope.
Oh, I don't mean the kids. I mean anyone who, any adult here who might be questioned by Adam.
See, my only worry with that is if they find that we're not in Flamingo Bay and then they come back and kill them. They seem like the kind of people that don't like being lied to. And I think we put these people through enough. So, I don't know. I feel like they already know that Foaming Waters is where we're heading.
I agree with Alder. I think they're going to try and cut us off. One of the last things, Dremel, I don't know if you were conscious, but Adam literally pointed at us and essentially told us what our new rate was going to be for the next time, I guess, he attempted to abduct us. So...
Did you go up?
Yeah, considerably. We all did. Maybe not you. Maybe you. I don't remember. Just in the heat of the moment.
What was mine?
I think it was like 1,200 gold or something like that.
All right, that sounds better.
I can use 1,200 gold right about now.
So it doesn't mean kill us all, Doc. That's not what we're talking about.
Okay, Alder, what is this plan? You kept saying that you've got this plan where we can move kind of fast, and like, I'm about it. I'm excited. What is it? Because there's just not a lot of information.
So I can cast a spell on us and up to, let's see, there's 5 of us or 4 of us. I can go ahead and cast it on us and up to 6 other willing creatures. So that means we could bring the horses with us.
Whoa, 10? You could cast it on 10?
10, yeah.
Shit.
And basically what it does, and this is why it's important to know where we're going, it basically turns us into the wind. So we'll be able to go whichever direction we want to at about 300 feet around. So, how quick do you think you could go about 30 feet right now? Probably about 6 seconds?
Yeah.
12 for
math.
Thok.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Thok, you got to pay attention a little bit here. I know it's complex, but you could probably go about 30 feet in about 6 seconds, right? That's fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go about 300 feet in 6 seconds. And
So Thok's going to throw up, is what you're saying.
that's why we got to get him well fed and good to go, because we can do this amount of travel for 8 hours straight. So realistically, we might be able to get to Foaming Waters today if we, give ourselves enough time and try not to kill ourselves.
Yeah. So
I don't know how far away it is, but we could follow that lake or follow that river low to the ground.
I'm going to do the math right now. So pay no attention to the man who's using the calculator on his phone.
So, what's the flight like?
Pretty smooth, because from the way that it works is you kind of assume a gaseous form during the duration that looks like it's little clouds. So, kind of like if you ever saw like someone who drew a picture of like the wind.
So you turn into a fart.
Yeah,
what
we're
I'm
basically
hearing.
we're flying farts, only instead of like yellowish, we're gonna be like white and pure.
Oof.
Not that only. Shit. That sounds bad.
I gotta go.
So, Alder's got a friend who is black, so he's allowed to say that. It's fine.
Yeah. No,
He was alive during the Obama administration, so it's fine.
Yeah. Oh God, what a time that was! It feels like forever ago.
So is there any sort of in-flight entertainment, or do I have to bring my own?
You will have to bring your own. Yeah. There's not going to be any kind of in-flight entertainment because we're pretty much just going to be moving. That's it.
Meals? Anything?
Nope. No. It's not that kind of flight. It's get the fuck out of town ASAP. So.
How long will it be like a fart?
8 hours or until we reach foaming waters, whichever one happens first.
Oh God. Oh,
That's why I'm saying
okay.
sober yourself up.
I look
eat some
around for
bread.
coffee.
Drink a cup of coffee. Because, like I said, we got to get the hell out of here for the sake of everybody.
Would I know if lesser restoration helps hangovers?
It's a fairly good hangover cure. I mean, it'll still be like it's kind of like when you're post hangover and you just kind of have a body hangover as opposed to like you're sensitive and you're stomachy, just kind of like you feel off. So you can speed up the process.
I'll wait until I eat and coffee, and then right before we go, if I don't feel better, I'll do that.
Okay.
So, I mean, my idea before we head out is we probably talk to Trem, talk to Ashiki, talk to Rosalie and Grace, see if there's anything else that we could do. And if we want to try and grab any supplies from the locals here before we get out, I'd say maybe not a bad idea. But aside from that,
What do you think?
The quicker we get out of here, the better.
What do you think we should need? Like, as of now, we have. Do you have Penelope? Is she like?
And I'll pull out the.
No, God, don't. I was just wondering.
Do you
I didn't
want
know
to
if
see
she
her?
was. No, I see her perfectly fine. Just leave her in her
not in the
Pokeball.
tavern.
It's fine.
The kids love Penelope. They'd be fine with it.
Yeah, but it's a confined space, and she's a giant chicken.
Yeah, she's a giant, lovely chicken.
I
So
didn't say she wasn't
I,
lovely.
just
I love all
didn't.
chickens.
I didn't know if she was like out and about or if she was. That answers my question. So, because
no, I got her.
as of now. As of now, how many are we converting into farts again? Alder, 5 of us.
Well, let's
with
see. We got
Dust
the 4 of us.
Being the
We have
5th, or
our horses
Aya.
and Aya, so that'll put us at 9.
Okay.
So, Aldo, you mentioned talking to Trem and Ishiki. We've kind of talked to Ishiki already. And in the sense of trying to get where we need to go as quickly as possible, I think we should just go. Because what is Trem going to tell us that we don't already know?
I mean, I just want to toss out pleasantries and say goodbye. That's really all I was getting at.
I mean, I don't think we're gone forever. I think, especially if we can get there today, it means we can get back tonight or tomorrow. I just kind of want to.
I think you're overly optimistic about how smooth things are going to go.
Yeah,
I'm not
I can also.
overly optimistic. I just think time is of the essence. And I think taking time to meander around town and talk to Trem and talk to Ishiki is valid, but also kind of a waste at this moment because they know where we're going.
Isn't Trem right there?
Isn't Ishiki staying here too?
No, Ishiki went back to his hut.
I'm pointing at a Sheik or a Trem, I hope. DM.
Isn't that Trem?
Charlotte's around. It doesn't look like Trem is up yet, but
Damn.
eventually, I mean, you would have seen Trem at some point.
While we're all talking, I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion in Donner's ear, and
Okay.
just say, "What about the Rosalie thing?" Because I don't want Charlotte to hear.
Right.
That's also part of the message.
I don't know how I'm supposed to answer you, so
No,
Yeah.
I'm looking for like eye contact, just to like.
I shoot you eye contact and also shrug shoulders.
All right.
And I just kind of look at Dremel and I look at Alder and I make eye contact with Dremel and say, I think we're going to have to risk it for the biscuit.
All right. Hey,
Well-
Alder, remember that tree thing you were talking about?
Yeah, like where I could potentially teleport us into a tree.
Yeah, is there one of those near here?
I
Like a
could go
big-ass tree?
take a quick scout, see if I can find anything for us.
I think that's a good idea, just in case we need
Okay.
to get back quicker than 8 hours.
Well, yeah, that'll definitely work for on our way back. But whether I'm doing that or doing this wind walking that I'll be having us do, can only do either one once a day. Not like both. It's just one of them once a day. That's all I have the capability to do right now. Just a heads up for you guys, so that way you know what I'm capable
Damn,
of.
I knew we shouldn't have been drinking last night.
I mean,
As I take another
Agreed.
sip from my beer.
Ugh. I look away.
Also, there's mushrooms sprinkled into the beer for nutrients.
not the
Yeah,
hallucinogenic. Got it.
No, I haven't found it yet.
He's
Yeah.
working on it.
One of these days, man.
It's gonna fuck you up.
I know. I'm gonna have a revelation.
In that case, I'm gonna
I'm
go.
not that tall.
Music.
I'm gonna go step outside and try looking for a large tree of sorts that I'll be able to use for that spell to try and transport us back. And I'm also gonna run over to Ashiki because he told me he could get me some holy water. So
Donna's
Okay,
gonna
do you
run
want me to-
upstairs and start
do you want me to-
packing.
Do you want me to call you when the coffee's out, or like, are
I'll
you
be
gonna
alright.
do that after coffee?
I'll be all right.
All right, suit yourself.
Is Charlotte? Is it like a back kitchen kind of thing, or more like a bar?
It's a bar, so it's very open. You can see what she's doing.
But it's deep enough that, like, there's a kitchen type.
Yeah.
Thok, why don't you go help Charlotte make that coffee?
Hey, sure. I don't know how well I'll help, but
I mean, you should probably be the first one to get it. So, if you're there, you get first dibs.
well, she knows we ordered it. I don't want to like, unless you're trying to get rid of me, then I'll just walk away. Like,
No,
Is
not
it-
doing that. Yeah, can I just talk to Donna real quick?
okay. So I just walk to I walk to the far end of the bar
Okay.
and just sit down.
And I turn to Donner and in hushed tones, because I still don't want Charlotte to hear. Hey, I know we gotta go, but this Rosalie thing's making me real nervous.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know what we can do right now. Like we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So
Is there any way we can, like, let Ashiki message us, like something faster than a raven?
can Ashiki message us? I don't even know if he can do that.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to think. Just some way. Like, I don't know. We went through so much getting these kids here that if something were to happen, it would crush me.
Yeah, I understand. I would not be super thrilled either. I mean, we can have Thok send him a message and see if he is aware of, if he keeps an eye out and if anything strange kind of happens, he can reach out to us in some way. Or we could just have Thok keep checking in make sure everything's kind of normal. Could check in with Grace. Grace would recognize something weird before anyone else.
Yeah, that's a good plan. And Dremel takes a deep breath, kind of visibly less anxious now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You know, and it works because Naldra's there, so it doesn't seem strange if he's coming and calling and checking up. So it's already kind of an in.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, good stuff. All right, Thok, we're done having best friend talks.
Okay. I reluctantly make my way back. Wait, so does that mean I'm not best friend material? No, you don't have to answer that. What am I?
You're not, first of all. I just want to be honest with you.
Wow.
You've got
I'm just
potential,
kidding,
but you don't eat your vegetables.
I'm just kidding, Thok.
You just hear the kids.
So-
Ooh.
That's why you get fucked up.
We're slightly concerned about leaving so abruptly, and we were wondering if, you know, throughout our voyage to Foaming Waters, aka Flamingo Bay, as I kind of look around, if you would be so kind as to check in on Naldra once we get there, and just make sure everything's okay on the home front.
Yeah, that's fine. I tend to do that with Sue anyways, so it'll just be an additional call.
Great. I just wanted to make sure that you were okay with that before, you know, I kind of told Dremel to kind of put him at ease. He's a little worried about the kids and like, especially Naldra. She's far from home and we don't have any idea how to get her home. So he's just concerned.
Can I tell if he's full of shit?
Are you trying to be deceptive there, Donner?
I mean, it's accurate.
I mean, it's not insincere. It's just not the full truth. So,
I would say with your perception, you can gather he's not telling you the whole story, but he seems honest.
Right. I'm too drunk to care. Oh, yeah. Like, or I'm too hungover to care. Yeah, just let me know like how often you want me to check in on them, because obviously I don't want to like either bombard them every night or, and obviously it's also depends on if my spells are spent. Hopefully not, because that would mean that we've felt or dealt with shit. I'm just gonna stop talking. I need coffee.
I got it, Thuck. We're on the same page. Don't even worry about it. And I kind of look at Dremel and I wink, and then I run upstairs to start pecking everything.
Packing everything up.
Because Donna's ready to go.
Okay. So you start packing. Thok, you are just cradling this coffee. Like your arms are around it. Like your head is in your arms. And then
I'm doing that thing of like I can like lick it or like
yeah, you're
slurp
basically
it with
like
my...
yeah, you're not putting any effort in because you can't. And Drem, what you doing, bud?
Well, he's drinking coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably drink a coffee. So I'm drinking a coffee.
Okay, great. Charlotte pours you a coffee.
And I also sprinkle mushrooms in there.
Oh god.
Gotta have the mushroom coffee, right, Josh?
I do. Got one left.
Quarantine's been hard on all of us. Mike, go ahead and roll an investigation check while you're outside, bud.
I'm gonna cast guidance on myself while I do this because I'm not that good at this.
Crazy
So
how you
said
knew to cast guidance for your
Guide
investigation
yourself.
check.
It's 16.
16. So you find some pretty okay candidates, but with your 16, and I would say for a good portion of leaning towards like 45 to 50 minutes, because you start seeing these slightly larger trees, you kind of figure if you keep going, you might be able to find one. And you see this decently sized tree.
Cool. That'll work. So I'm just gonna kind of like, obviously kind of get a feel for it. know that this one will be the one that we can use, and just kind of like mark it down in my brain, and then I'll probably take out a little notepad and try and do like a little like sketch of it, so that way I remember it.
So you're going to take a full hour for finding this tree.
Well, to be completely honest, it's not by choice. It's what the DM ruled. So
I'm so anxious.
It takes an hour to do a sketch.
No, he told me it was going
it
to take
took
me
an hour
45
to
minutes.
One
45
person
minutes to find the tree, so I'm going to...
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you getting all your shit together is going to take you about 45 minutes. So by the time he gets back, you guys should be fine.
Oh, cool. I thought it was like 45 minutes after.
No,
Everything.
it's
No,
while
I've
you guys
been
are
going
doing
already.
shit.
Like,
He dipped.
I left before the coffee was ready.
I was
Exactly.
concerned.
I'm ready to go. I just need coffee.
You are
You don't
not
have
ready to go.
And then the other thing is, once I get that done, just run over to Ashiki, make sure he's doing well, and see if he's got that holy water for me. Because I kind of need that.
I would say you probably did that before you went tree hunting, just because you didn't know how long it would take, most likely. You rap gently on the door, and it takes a little bit, and you hear some rustling, the occasional grunting as the door slowly kind of creaks open, and you see Ashiki. He has more color in his cheeks now than he did the last time you saw him or didn't see him. But you see that his sides are very heavily bandaged up. He's not wearing his robe closed. He kind of has it draped over his shoulders. His arms aren't even in the armholes. As you just see this big kind of like wrapping. As he goes, "Oh, Alder, it's very good to see you. Please come in." And he kind of shuffles to the side, and you actually see this little tea kettle kind of piping, and it starts to whistle. And he goes, "You have very, very good timing."
Thank you. You look a hell of a lot better this morning than you did last night.
Well, I'm not dying now, so that's good.
Yeah. Thank you, I guess, again, for trusting me to make sure you didn't die. Don't know if I'm wording that right, but I did have to cut you open, and I'm happy that that worked out.
I'm
So
also glad that worked out as well for us. So, you were here for the holy water, correct?
that's correct, yeah. We think it's best for us to get out of town and hopefully keep you guys out of trouble for as long as we can. So I can get us out of town a lot faster with the holy water.
How many vials did you need? I don't know if I made enough. It usually takes about an hour to bless it. I woke up fairly early. I have about 4 or 5 vials for you.
Whatever you're able to give me, I will take. That should be enough for us.
Okay. And he kind of goes over to one of his desks, and you see these very tiny glass vials that are filled almost to the top. There's a little bit of headspace with a cork kind of put into it. And he places the 5 in front of you. And he looks at you and he goes, was there anything else I could help you, Alder?
I mean, unless you happen to have a bow and arrow or something you're hiding back there, I think I'm good to go.
I don't. But did you talk to your friends?
I did. I think we're feeling a little bit better about the situation. I mean, we all got, with the exception of, I think, Donner, we definitely all had a little bit of the drink in order to help us have that conversation, but it's what needed to happen, and I think we're better for it. So thank you for helping me with that.
Of course. Well, eventually, hopefully, you get to the point where you don't need to drink to have those conversations.
I just felt like it was going to be easier this time around, but I'm definitely with you. I'm not good with people in general, so talking about how I feel usually isn't easy. So it definitely helped me this time around, but I agree. I hope I don't need that again.
There's actually a book for that. And he kind of turns over, and you see him, and he takes this little, very tiny book out and slows off of it. And he goes, "This may help in the future to express yourself in a more healthy, non-alcoholic way." As he kind of gives you this book that basically just says, like, the Gentleman's Guide to Conversation.
I could use this. I will.
Yes.
When we're not quick traveling, I'll be reading this.
Good.
I was half expecting you to give me chicken soup for the soul, and I was going to say, "You son of a bitch."
Don't know what that is, but sure.
For the teenage
I'm
soul.
adding that to my inventory.
Yeah, go for it. And he looks and he goes, "Well, please have a safe journey. Make sure your friends are safe. Take care of one another. And take every challenge as an opportunity to learn something new about yourself, about your friends, and about the world."
I appreciate that.
Of course.
And don't be surprised if we periodically have Thok in your head, kind of making sure that everyone's doing okay.
And you see him and he goes, "Okay."
He'll just shoot you a message, a couple words here and there just to make sure that everything's going okay. I just know that Rosalie's been through a lot. These kids have been through a lot. We just want to make sure that everyone's in a good space. So obviously you guys didn't know we were all criminals, so that came as a bit of a shock, but hopefully that doesn't really change your opinion of who we are and what we've accomplished.
No. Aftershock is pretty placed down. I tend to think I'm a good judge of character and body language, and it seems you boys mean very well, and you do your best a lot.
Well, kind of what I've gathered for the most part is, yes, all of us went to jail, but none of us went to jail for doing the wrong thing. We all felt it seems like we were doing things that were justly right for the most part. So I don't know. I felt like I was doing something that was right. It's just something that kind of got out of hand. Donna was trying to stop somebody from, essentially the family he was working with, from being robbed and murdered, and he ended up killing people instead. I don't know. It's a messy situation, but I think we're all good at heart. We're trying to do the right things. It's just, I think we're all a little stubborn, myself included, and we got to work on that. But we'll get there.
And he kind of looks at you and he goes, and he says in Elvish, his dialect isn't your specific one, but basically he amounts to, "You're on the right path. You have good intentions. Those good intentions will lead you to good things. There will be challenges, but take them, once again, as an opportunity to learn."
Thank you.
And he kind of just nods and he goes, "I think I'm going to enjoy my tea and get back to my reading for now."
Sounds like a plan. Rest up. Thank you again for everything.
And he nods and he kind of walks you out as he kind of sits on his little pillow on his stoop as he watches you kind of leave as you go on your tree hunt. And he opens his book up. So yes, after you're able to find your very lovely tree, you kind of start heading back into town. It's a little bit more livelier than it was before. There are a few more residents outside. As you start making your way to the tavern. So Donna, you're able to kind of start collecting everything up. You're putting everything away. And at one point during your kind of like pack up, you kind of hear a knock on the door jam. And you kind of turn around and Charlotte's there, and she looks, I wouldn't say anxious, but she looks slightly uncomfortable.
Hi, Charlotte. What can I do for you?
You're leaving, so figured we. I was angry yesterday. I'm not going to apologize for
No.
what I felt.
Why would you ever do that?
I'm sorry for how I reacted.
And I kind of sit down on the bed and I gesture to her to sit next to me.
And you see her, and she sits next to you.
You know, I'm a lot older than I look. You know, at least I think I am. And I kind of crack a smile.
Yeah.
And Charlotte, what you did was perfectly normal. But one of the things I would say in a blossoming warrior like yourself is trust your instincts. They're not always going to be right, but they're going to be right more than they're wrong because they're yours. So if that was your gut reaction, I can't blame you.
And she kind of like looks at her hands and her apron. She goes, I appreciate you saying that. I think you need to take something with you, and I had a spare one lying around, so I figured you might want it. And she pulls out this kind of like it's like maybe like a 4x4 little parcel box that's kind of covered in like butcher paper and twine. And she goes, "You're really bad with your swords. You should probably sharpen them every once in a while."
Yeah, you know, I've not been a sword guy in quite some time. I'm more of an axe guy. I like to use an axe from time to time.
Still got to keep an edge for that.
I know. It's different, okay? It's not the same. So, but I appreciate it. I will take your word for it, and I'll try and keep my blade sharp.
Good. Just before you guys leave, I think the kids were trying to do something, so just make sure you say bye to them. And kind of taps you on the arm as she kind of gets up. I have 27 plates to clean, so I will be back.
Yeah, by the way, I know I may not keep my sword sharp, but you know, you could stand to learn to dodge a little bit, you know, just kind of be a little lighter on your feet.
And she looks at you and she goes, "I beat you last time. Tread lightly." And she kind of smiles.
I'll see you again. I'm not worried.
Neither am I. As she kind of walks off and you hear the footsteps. Doc, you're still nursing your coffee as Dremel. You eventually move on from your coffee. You kind of roll everything up in your little bag and start readying the horses. And yeah, eventually, as the three of you are down and kind of readying everything, Alder, eventually you join your other party members as it looks like they've brought some of your stuff down and started putting it onto a horse. I'm still not entirely sure what your plan is, so it's kind of outside.
I also, when I'm like packing his stuff, I try and put in like some branches and twigs and stuff. Just like the occasional one, not like a pocket full of them, but like every once in a while there's just a twig.
Prick.
Okay. But yeah, Alder, you reconvene with your party as Thok is kind of just leaning his head against the side of the tavern with his eyes closed.
All right, guys. Well, I found us a tree that I think if we want to try and fast travel back here, obviously wherever we're heading, we just got to find another tree that we can use to get us back instantly, teleport style. But let's get everyone that's traveling, horses included, and then I'll whistle for Aya to come down.
She swoops down.
Be like, all right, everybody. Well,
Dude, should we say bye to anybody?
Oh, we have to say goodbye to the kids before we go.
of course.
It was requested by the children that we say goodbye.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right.
Okay. I'll go inside and I'll like walk in.
As you kind of walk in, they're still kind of like huddled a little bit, and there's still some like shushing and whatnot. And they kind of like look at you because every time you kind of come in, they like just stop what they're doing, and they're like
Statue kids.
Yeah, they're like statue kids in like a little circle, and then when you like leave a room, then they're back to doing whatever they're doing. So they're like looking, and you can kind of gather they don't know when the next time you come into the room you're going to be like, we're leaving. So whatever they're trying or planning to do, they don't know if they have more time to do so or not.
We're leaving.
And they kind of like look at all of you, and one of them kind of comes up and explains that they thanked you guys for everything, and they all drew you little pictures of you guys and them on the like finding them, and there's just you guys can add to your inventory 27 little kid crayon drawings of thanks.
And Dremel's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
One of them says, "Fuck Paul."
That's my
Don't
favorite.
tell anyone I cursed.
Really crudely in crayons.
Fouquet.
Okay.
Fouquet. It's French.
Fouquet Pou.
Pour le athée. But yes, you guys get 27 little kid drawings on scrap pieces of paper and crude charcoal and crayon and wax, whatever they could find, and that they were working on them all morning for you guys.
I'm gonna go to the one that has the pickaxe. I don't remember his name because I didn't write it down.
I didn't either.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kiddo.
And I kind of kneel down, and I'm like, "Hey, you got this? You got this while we're gone?"
And he nods at you, and his picture you remember is him with his pickaxe and you with the bigger pickaxe, because pickaxes go together.
Yeah, that makes
So-
sense.
Mm-hmm. So he acknowledges and he says yes, and he's ready to step up.
All right, you're in charge. Don't forget. You're still working on calling it back to you, right?
I am. My arm gets tired.
Yeah, it's mine too. So, keep an eye out. I trust you. You're the leader now, even before Charlotte.
And he looks over at Charlotte, and Charlotte is like, no, she's not. She's like cleaning glasses or something.
I'll kill you.
So he kind of looks, and you see him kind of like smirk a little bit and smile.
All right, keep everybody safe, and we'll be back soon. All right.
Okay,
I hold out my fist for a fist bump.
bumps it back. All right.
I'm
Anything
let's do
else?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Since I've spent so much time telling these kids stories, I'm gonna go down, kind of take a knee, and just open up my arms for a big old
And
hug.
you were rushed by 27 bodies.
And as we're all group hugging, I say, "Now, kids, what do you say when we see a 1-foot black bird?"
And in unison, you hear 25, because I remember Harley and Meldra aren't there. You hear 25 voices that say, "Fuck Paul."
That's right. Fuck Paul. I love you, kids.
They're like, "We love you too, Dremel."
And I stand up and I tousle some of their hairs.
Yeah. Some of them are like attached to your leg. Or you're like, kid stuff.
Kid stuff.
He says leg, but he means ankle, because like
Yeah.
The lower
You're a
part of
giant.
the calf.
Yeah. One giant. One kid's just grabbing onto just what the top of your boot would be, because you're a monster.
they high five your knee. They're like, "Yeah."
No, it's the calf.
No,
it's not high enough.
they hit my knee and it does that reflex where I just kick.
And you mule kick a kid into the bar. I love you, Dremel. Fuck Paul.
Why did you forsake us?
Why
Spits
did you
out a
forsake
tooth.
us?
Why have you forsaken us, God? So the four of you leave the tavern.
As gods.
as gods amongst children, which might not be a great thing. So
My favorite thing.
Alder and Thok, you doing anything in particular? I want to give you guys an opportunity before you go on your bogus adventure.
I'll just say bye to the kids. Kind of similar. Tousle the hair on my way through.
Yeah.
Aya's probably flown in already, so...
And they're all gentle with Aya because you've trained them at this point to not try to ruffle anything so she doesn't bite, but she allows them to say goodbye to her.
That's why I wanted to bring her in too, so that way they could all say goodbye together. And then obviously just kind of go up to Trem and thank him and Charlotte again as well.
Trem kind of nods and he goes, "You're welcome. It's going to be tough, but we're going to put some feelers out there. Hopefully any relatives these kids have, they can come and get them. And if not, maybe there's a lonely old couple that could use a few extra hands to help around the house, you know?"
Yeah, and then I kind of pull out my notes and hold on 1 second.
I use my additional notes.
I throw my throwing knife style.
And then I just want to let them know that the kids that are here, in case, so that way they know what kind of feelers to put out. They're all from Vestergaard, Flamingo Bay, and there's one of them from Driftwood Harbor. So,
got it.
If you can use that for your feelers, that's where they're from.
Yep. We'll start putting out some bulletins. We'll start sending some stuff out. Hopefully, any kind of neighboring towns will be able to figure out what's going on.
Donna's going to call from outside and just be like, "We're burning daylight. Let's go."
And Charlotte kind of looks at you and she goes, "I think you're getting called."
We're used to it. Thank you
go.
all again.
They nod. Make sure you come back. Want to hear how it goes.
Hopefully in better circumstances without people wanting us dead.
Well, we'll see, I guess. And they smile. Mm-hmm.
Extend my arm out to Trem and just look at him and it's like, we look after our own.
And Trem grabs your forearm and says in Orcish, "You know, your blood is my blood. We look after our own."
And I'll walk away.
Okay. And Charlotte kind of nods as you turn heel toe, and like this kind of like mythical figure, the kids kind of just look in awe as you have your pirate hat down and your cloak kind of builds a little bit as you kind of just go through the door.
Seeing them look at me for the hell of it, I'm gonna make the hat of disguise, make it look like I have a peg leg, since I'm limping on that leg anyways.
And they eventually start hearing a click as you magically procured a peg leg. And they look at you in awe and wonder as you make your exit. All right. Anything else we're doing?
For God's sakes, no. Let's go.
You are really excited to leave.
It's not excitement. We've been saying this whole time we needed to go with haste, and we're taking our goddamn sweet time. If we want to beat them there, I mean, you saw it. They just transported. They left us, and we know that they were more than 1,000 feet away. So who knows how fast they can travel in a blink? You know, we might be behind at this point. We might not be there early. So.
All right. Well, grab the horses, gather in close.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of the vials of holy water out and start sprinkling it all around us. And I'm going to cast Produce Flame in my hands. And I'm going to say, "We are the wind." And remind everybody, follow the water. So that way we can all stick together.
Follow the stream. The stream.
Follow the stream.
Just don't cross it.
Never cross streams.
So the holy water and the fire is the material components needed, and we are the wind.
What are you casting?
Windwalk.
Windwalk. I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure.
which is 6th level.
So we
Shit.
can travel at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Okay.
First 6th level spell cast.
Oh, I didn't lesser restoration myself.
As Thok is
It's
like,
okay,
wait,
you seem
what?
fine.
As he's the wind.
I just
He
vomit
just goes.
clouds.
It's like that scene from Jumanji when they get when Alan gets sucked in, and it's just like Thok's like, no.
What are you talking about? That doesn't sound like the one with the rock.
Oh no, Mike.
No, there's a reason.
Okay.
That one was
So
a
let's
delight.
see here. So it lasts 8 hours. Okay.
8 hours travel.
Let's
8 hours
go.
travel. 8 hours travel going at 300 miles per hour.
300
miles
feet per 6
round.
seconds.
Jesus Christ.
So
Okay.
can we like talk to each other, or is it just?
I don't.
Are we
I
just
don't
wind?
think so. I think we're literally wind.
You're literally just a forming mesh of cloud vapor.
And I'm leading the way.
It does say reverting takes a minute.
Correct.
So,
Don't revert while we're in the sky.
okay, great.
Well, I figured we would fly relatively low to the ground, so that way we wouldn't go too far up.
Okay.
But because
So-
realistically, it just makes sense to just follow the stream until we hit foaming waters, or as close to it as possible. But you're the one with the map that's real. So I don't know if we can actually make it that far, but we weren't given
Don't
an
make it
exact
a good
distance.
baby. So you, as a cohesive unit, you kind of wisp and barrel your way, following the stream, seeing different kinds of wildlife and vegetation. And eventually the crystal cool water that you have all grown accustomed to slowly starts coming a little bit more murky and a little bit more clouded as, well, you don't have any nasal senses, so I can't say that yet. As it takes a good chunk of time as you kind of come to this very large swamp. And we're in foaming waters.
Haha, the plan worked all along.
Are we back to being people yet?
Takes a minute, so you might still be cloud people.
How much
Cloud.
did it take us to get here? Like,
It,
ish. Just
it was
roughly.
on the cusp. I would say about 7 hours, but you guys were barreling at fucking plane
300.
speeds. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure we probably have to make a con save when we get out of wind.
oh yeah,
But we're wind.
someone's gonna throw up, Doc.
Yeah, Thought's making it a disadvantage.
Yeah, yes.
Good.
Great. So you guys are
That's
now
Nothing less.
foaming waters. All right, Alder,
Ooh.
tell me a little bit about the diverting process, please.
And as soon as I start seeing that we are at some form of civilization, I'm just going to kind of guide the cloud down to the ground and bring us to slowly kind of skid us to a stop.
Okay.
So that way we can hopefully be at the point to where we're no longer moving at the end of that 1 minute wind down time. So that way,
That scared the shit out of me. I just want you to know that.
Good.
good.
So
yeah.
Okay. So after about a minute, eventually this very odd, very large cloud vapor starts to separate into 9 separate figures as Dremel, Donner, Alder, and Thok, Dusk, and Aya are all kind of recorporeal. It's a very odd feeling, specifically, having all of your essences intermingled, because you were all not tangible anymore. But you look and you make sure that you don't have like Dremel's tail, or everything looks like you weren't spliced together like freak people. Everyone make a con saving throw, and Thok, do it at disadvantage.
Oh, I knew that.
12.
11.
6.
What'd you get there?
11.
Okay. So everyone is kind of like, okay. And you all kind of get that bile taste in your mouth.
I swallow it.
You guys are able to kind of suck it down, except for Alder, who's just like, oh, here it comes.
Yeah, I'm literally just going to go ahead and go, I've never actually done that before.
Oh, it's awful. and you just kind of feel your insides just come out because at one point your outsides were on the outside.
Oh, I've never done that before.
I think you're wearing my insides.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm you and you're me and we're together and we're... Oh, God, it's a weird
I think
feeling.
I think you got contact drunk from Thok.
I think so. Oh, God.
Hey, Doc, do you feel better now?
I mean, it's been 7 hours. I hope so.
You gave it to Alder. We figured it out. We cured hangovers.
So when we're hungover, we turn into clouds.
Become cloud people.
Yeah.
Cloud people.
I like it.
Cloud people.
For 8 hours.
Yeah.
For 8
oh,
hours.
I
God.
don't think we have to do it for 8 hours, right?
I mean,
We just
if you want
takes
it
a
to be
minute
most
to
effective.
revert.
Well, if we're just
Hey,
trying to get
guys.
rid of alcohol.
I love this conversation about hangovers and stuff, but shouldn't we try and find Zunu? Isn't that a thing we should probably try and... Yeah?
Yeah, we can do a
Yeah.
lot. We can have both conversations.
Oh, for sure. I just kind of pictured us standing in a circle talking, instead of like doing a West Wing walk and talk.
Oh, it's always a
You
West
know,
Wing
that
walking.
play, West Wing walk and talk.
Well, that's what we
Oh.
called the wind travel, was the West Wing.
Okay.
Yeah.
While you're kind of having this conversation, you take in your surroundings, and it's quite different than what you're used to. It's this very wet land. It's because it's a wetland. Every time you kind of move amongst the ground, you kind of hear a
No.
boot, mud and boot. It seems to be kind of littered with this dead, rotting plants, mosses. The clean stream just kind of starts channeling outwards, and judging by the map, Foaming Waters is fairly large, but it's dominated by trees and lots of rotten stuff.
Do we see any sort of path or civilization?
Go ahead and roll a investigation check. See if you can find any kind of path or civilization.
13.
Also 13.
Okay.
13! Best friend 13.
And you think that you got okay? No one else is doing it. Got it.
Apparently not.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's open to the table.
Okay, I'll roll. 8.
3.
Cool. 3. With the
13.
13, I mean, you can kind of still see where the rough kind of outline of the stream goes. It just looks like it spreads out, but it does still have kind of like a current to it that you can kind of bog through. Unfortunately, as you kind of walk, it gets a little bit deeper. There doesn't seem to be like a solid land you can kind of get into. And yeah.
We would be on horseback, yeah?
you have your horses with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually it starts kind of coming up to the horses like knees. And then as it gets a little bit deeper, it goes up to their upper leg as you guys are kind of slowly just trudging through silts, mud, and bog water.
Cool, cool. This is great.
Is this slowing our like travel?
I mean,
I would say significantly.
yeah.
Great.
I mean, yeah.
I do not like this.
I also don't like this, especially because I can't see what's in the water. So, color me concerned.
Yeah, this also isn't healthy for the horses, so we have to keep that in mind too.
No,
Well,
it's
if we're in
water
this-
resistance.
Longer than a day. If we end up having to travel through it tomorrow, I can do something about it. But I can't do it today. I can cast water walk,
Is
but
there like a sturdier path?
It would take some like exploring because unfortunately everything looks level, but you know, as you go, you've obviously have gone over mounds of like silt and sand. You would just have to find the levels, and unfortunately looking down, the water is almost opaque that you can't really see what's going on there, but you can try to kind of feel with the horse.
I guess so. So Donna's gonna kind of like zigzag, trying to find
Gonna start
like
serpentine.
higher ground, so we can continue to travel at a little faster pace.
Okay. Because there are still like occasional mounds where you're able to kind of get above the water, and whenever you guys get above it, your horse's legs are just covered in this gray, silty mud as it goes back down. You're kind of
Do we see like a town or anything in that general area or any kind of life at all?
As of right now, you see a lot of mud, a lot of different kinds of bugs like mosquitoes, very large, that keep kind of pecking at your necks and your legs, any kind of exposed skin, the occasional frog and snake. But nothing as far as civilization yet.
I look in the sky to see if there's any like smoke of any kind from like a fire that would be out.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
5.
A lot of clouds out today.
No, such nice clouds.
Is there any trees or anything?
Yeah, there are tons of trees. It's just they're mostly, halfway sticking out, enveloped, or they're even taller than what you're expecting because obviously of where you're kind of stepping. But yeah, there are several different trees like red oaks and let me see here. I have a guide. So
there's really large trees, is what you're saying.
Yes, reeds. There's a lot of
good to know.
Yeah, lots of different kinds
That
of
is good to know.
Hey, Alder, how good are you at climbing trees?
I mean, I do live in a treehouse, so...
Perfect. Can you climb up one of those and see if you see anything?
You live in a treehouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did I gloss over that?
I don't know.
Did you make it yourself?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not like you could get a builder to build something for you in the trees.
I mean, you could probably
you
totally do
100%
that.
can.
Sounds like you guys have never been to Yetvan. All right.
I've never been to you.
Trust me, it's even worse to spell than it is to say.
Is that why you don't like metal? Because you like trees and stuff?
I mean, you could say that that's probably a pretty good factor, yeah.
Is it the only factor?
Do we want to get into this right now, or do you want me to climb the tree to see what's going on?
Climb the tree.
Can you do both?
Could certainly try.
Yell the story as you climb.
But in like a funny accent. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
For
And
climbing the
would be-
tree, would it be a survival check, or...
I'll boost him up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna help him.
I'm gonna
It's
cast
going to be an
Mage Hand.
athletic check.
I'm gonna cast
Yeah,
Mage Hand to hold his butt as he goes up.
And I'm going to cast
Wait,
guidance on myself to climb this.
I'm gonna help him.
Okay.
I kind of want to do it because I'm proficient in athletics, but
I am
Alright.
not. That's why I was hoping it would be a survival check.
I'm gonna sit on dusk and just watch the show.
And you do, and you kind of see Manu sitting next to you. Like, it looks like he's sitting down on top of the water as he's going, this is going to end badly.
I bet you like 2 gold that he falls.
I'll take that bet.
All right.
However, I don't have money.
We'll figure it out. I'll lend you some. And I just watch.
And
Okay.
then, I'm just bringing up my notes so that way I can let them know a little bit of where I'm from.
Okay.
But I rolled a 19, so...
It's fairly
yeah.
decent. So
and I don't know
I
if that
kind of,
was with advantage for him helping me. So that was just a straight roll.
it would be at advantage because he's helping you, he's assisting. So you can roll again, see if you crit.
Yeah, I did actually. Natural 20.
Good. So I wouldn't say it's going to be effortless, but you're going to be able to get up there successfully and safely. As Aya kind of just lands on the top of the tree as she waits for you, as you kind of like one arm, and then you just start kind of awkwardly pulling yourself up, because this is a fairly wide tree and it's a little bit slippery from the humidity and the slime that is this swamp. But you're able to get a good grip, and eventually that awkwardness becomes more fluid as you start climbing up.
And then as I'm doing that, I'll be like, so you know that piece of metal that I took from Trems, or from not Trems, who's the other barkeep's name?
The place.
Yeah, from the bar that we were gonna buy. I took that piece of metal.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
No, I'm fuck.
Dremel should know.
What
They're
was
the
it?
best friends or something.
From
What?
the guy.
Anyway,
Yeah, I remember the metal. Yeah.
The reason I took it is because Lyndon isn't my real name. My real name is Eliaris.
Thought
like
your name was
Lyndon better.
Alder.
Well, yeah, my last name, dummy.
You're talking really quiet for being up in a tree.
That's why I'm shouting. But
I'm shouting.
the staff that I carried from me was given to me by my grandfather. He said, never forget your roots. Always stay grounded. A lot of puns about nature, but it was kind of his thing.
Did he say that part too? A lot of puns about nature?
classic.
I'm paraphrasing right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
Not grounded
But,
right now, though. You're in a tree.
But basically, my parents kind of got really, really into the mining and metal manufacturing business, kind of destroying the earth. So I left them at a pretty young age rather than just continue to fight with them. So they still live in a city called Falsera. I don't think we're anywhere close to there right now, but it's literally right between two mountains called the Iron Point and the Adamantine Summit. So you can kind of go ahead and just assume what that means.
Tell me what it means.
There's a lot of metal and things to be mined there. It's
Oh,
very,
savage.
very rich. So my family is honestly pretty well off. But
Thanks for rubbing and getting in our face.
I haven't talked to them in years. So
And I look at Dremel as he's explaining this, and I'll be like, he left when he was young. That explains the treehouse. It makes sense.
Man, I bet there's no safety rails or anything.
Probably not. He probably used like a rope to climb up.
Man, that's why he eats twigs.
I realized that being left when I was pretty young was probably still like leaving it like 100, right?
You can't hear us though, so it's fine.
No, you definitely can't.
Probably not.
He was like 7 and like just a kid,
So,
Probably like built a ramp and he just ran down it because he's stupid and a child and not even hot.
7-year-old elf is still basically a baby.
Yeah, so you were very advanced for your
Left
age.
as an infant.
But again, you can't hear us, so I don't know why you're talking.
I'm just having fun. I'm here
Yeah,
for the party.
face. Yeah.
I extend my hand to
we're-
Manu with 2 gold pieces in it, trying to
We're
give
done.
him 2 gold.
And Manu is just like, stop. Please stop. Please.
You won the bet.
I did, but I don't have pockets.
I'll hold it for you. I'll do a separate account. And I'll put it in my opposite pocket.
Gonna get jacket money. Great.
He's so annoying to me.
Okay.
So now that I'm
Alder,
up here at the top of the tree,
yeah,
What do you see?
you're kind of like here as Aya is like on top of you, on the tippy top, and you're kind of like, look. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
okay,
How high up is he?
it's cocked.
Before you.
I mean, he's high above the swamp ceiling, so
Like more than 30 feet?
actually a little bit more than 30 feet.
Damn it. All right. I was going to cast Mage Hand and block out the sun for you.
I appreciate that.
For advantage.
And Aya kind of just looks down at you as you're just kind of like looking down. Is Alder afraid of heights?
No,
lives in a
I would,
treehouse.
he lives.
just
He lives
saying.
in a treehouse. I would say he's not.
People can be afraid of things they live in.
You're not wrong.
I'm not. I've been married before. So You kind of like you're looking out. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
All right. 14.
14. Okay, with your 14, you're kind of able to survey the area. You see where you kind of came from. In the very far distant, you can kind of see the summit that is the Iron Hill Mountain. And when you look in the opposite direction, in your immediate area, you just see a little bit more bog, but you kind of see a slight clearing, like a bevel of what looks to be solid land. At least it's not like, water everywhere.
in.
You see, yeah. And a little bit farther than that, you can see the remnants of a little kind of like smoke coming from a little bit farther where the summit or where that plateau is.
How far out would you say that I think they are?
The plateau is, I would say, judging by how you can kind of calculate and how good your vision is, the plateau at your pace, maybe about an hour. And then the where the fire is, you're not entirely sure. You can guesstimate either 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, we still got a while to travel, boys. That's all I know.
What?
It looks like there's a clearing about an hour away. Fire probably 2 to 3 hours away.
Okay, so hurry up and get down here so we can leave.
Yeah,
Get ready.
don't jump though.
Okay, but still get ready to catch me in case I slip.
Okay.
It's a
I put
slippery
my
big
arms out.
tree.
Okay.
And also, while he's climbing down, I look to the other guys and say, in retrospect, we probably should have just spent Aya up there.
Yeah, probably.
But he conquered his fear of heights, so it's great.
That's what it's all about.
Modded 20 for my athletics check on the way down.
Okay. It takes you a little bit because you're trying to find your proper footing, make sure you don't slip and fall, but eventually you're able to kind of ease your way back down where your horse is, and you kind of are able to position yourself without falling into the water.
Cool. All right, guys, let's go. Follow me this way.
Didn't hear a magic
follow.
word.
As
I
we
walk
fall-
with him.
And
As-
so
as
they
we-
walked.
As we go, I'm just for the hell of it gonna cast detect magic.
Okay.
Just for curiosity purposes. For the next 10 minutes, it'll be up.
Okay. You get the usual pingings from your other compatriots or companions, but you kind of push out and you don't get anything back in for the next 10 minutes.
Good.
Nothing dangerous. So anything the three of you are particularly doing before we move on to the plateau?
I'm just looking around for different wildlife, and since I did use some of my holly berries, I will be looking for more of them in case I find any. So,
Okay. Go ahead and roll a nature check for me.
18.
18. With your 18, you see a lot of cattails, a lot of different kinds of weed, like I said, pond weeds, different reeds, kind of like spiky bushes, and the occasional you'll see like occasional
Please
lizards, lots of mosquitoes. Stop.
Mr. Purple Sticky Punch, is he out there?
No, he's not. Dragonflies, and mostly you see mostly insects. You don't really see a lot of animals that are bigger than like snakes that big that are just kind of slithering in the water.
Quick question. What's a good berry do?
A good berry?
Yeah.
Good berry restores HP.
Okay. How much is it?
I think it's 2 hit points per good berry.
Okay, so it's just a little bit.
I think it's 1.
It might be 1.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Okay, because I have mushrooms that... I have like 10 mushrooms that are good berry mushrooms, and then one that's a mild healing. And I don't know what that means.
Well, good berries also Are you asking in game or out of game?
Oh no, in game or out of game. Yeah,
Oh.
like I have 10 good berry mushrooms and then one mild healing mushroom, and I just don't know what that means.
It also sustains you like
Mhm.
food wise for 24 hours. Like one
Right.
like one berry will pretty much you won't be hungry for the rest of the day.
Okay, cool. Now in character, I'm looking for mushrooms.
Okay, great. Go ahead and roll that investigation, Josh.
Alrighty.
Or sorry,
Um,
Dremel.
I'm trying to smell lilacs.
You're trying to smell lilacs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just trying to center yourself and
Correct.
got it. Okay.
13.
13. You see some new different kind of mushrooms. Nothing that seems too crazy. You get about 3 of these kind of button mushrooms that are like yellow spotted as opposed to the regular red and white spots. And as you kind of like move, you kind of put cave mushroom down. So you're like, let these grow, and then be mushroom palace. Just trying to spread the seed, man. At least that's what I'd figure you do. But yeah, you're collecting different kind of like mosses. You're looking for different toads if you're looking for psychedelics to see if you can lick them and they would cause anything, but you don't really know that, and it's also a toad. But I mean, you're just doing your Dremel thing, and at times you get off the horse and like you're up to knee deep water as you kind of trail off occasionally, and you're like, got this one pocket. So you're able to get those mushrooms.
Mouth.
And Thok, I thought you were saying something. I wasn't sure.
Mm-mm.
No?
Only detect magic whenever I did it.
Right. And Donner is trying to smell lilacs.
Yeah.
So you just kind of concentrate. Just think about what your friend said to you, and try to go to that place. And you don't get the sensation, but you know that they are aware of where you are now, and if they need you to get a hold of you. But you get comfort in that kind of meditation. So the next hour or so is spent trudging through this mud and water. You left in the late morning, so it's getting closer and closer to evening. As you're kind of about to reach the plateau is when the sun kind of starts coming, or the sun start to kind of come down. And the ground isn't exactly solid, but it's more substantial to the point where you're not half enveloped by mud, or your horses aren't. And eventually you're able to find some harder, firmer ground. But it just kind of feels like you're just walking through just cakey, soft mud.
This sucks.
I do not like this.
It's really not great.
This is like the opposite of a mountain. And not a huge fan.
Well, this is where we were told to go, right? Are we going in the right direction? Do we know?
From what I saw, this is kind of like the first clearing that I found. As I can see, and I'm sure you can see, it doesn't really look like there's much civilization here. There was some smoke coming from probably about another hour, 2 hours ahead of here. I don't know if we can keep going at this point.
I was gonna say, do we want to try to reach it before? Is it nightfall? Yeah.
It's starting to become nightfall. Like you're like halfway there. Like it's.
Or do we want to try to find a camp or make camp?
Dremel licks his finger and puts it up to like he's trying to get the wind. Looks like the sun's about to go down. We should probably make camp.
I'm confused on what you did there, but okay.
Well, I was checking for the sun.
Right. The sun. Yep. Got it.
And it's about to
No
go
longer
down.
confused. Yeah,
Good.
no. Got it.
Alder, what do you think?
I mean, I think the horses probably need a rest, kind of trudging through all this. I know that at this point we've probably been traveling about 14, 15 hours, so altogether for the day that we've been awake. So I don't know how much longer we have in us before we start getting exhausted. I think it's probably best to rest, but obviously be on our guards because we're in unfamiliar territory right now.
I think we need to take watches. That's the only.
Yeah, of course.
Well, is there anywhere dry?
They're relatively there are the occasional dry patches. I would say it's not large enough where it fits comfortably all of you. But you can kind of space yourselves out a little bit where if you really want to, make sure you're on substantial ground that you can set your bed there and whatnot.
Thought, can you stone shape the ground to make it solid?
That's what I was looking at, but it's stone 5 feet. I can do it 4 times. I don't think it's gonna be 3 times, so I could do a total of 15 square feet, or 15. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, 15 square feet.
15 square feet in total. But I was also looking at I prepared control water, and I can control water out if y'all want to try to freeze it as I hold it back, and depending on what that is. What is the part water?
What's the temperature like?
Very humid, very warm. It's Florida for you, Josh.
Ugh, I knew it.
How come?
Ice
Only
can't
it's like
melt.
super Florida, so it's
It's
worse.
Everglades.
Yeah, we're in the Everglades.
So I have somewhere for I can stone shape 15 square feet for us to sleep in, but what about the horses?
So it's 15 square feet. What's the depth?
Well, it's 5 by 5 by 5. I could do it 3 times.
Oh, so you got cube feet. Now, what if it's only? What if it's like 1 foot tall? Because we have 25 feet to work with.
Let's see what the spell says.
See what Big Brain Boy can dish up.
You touch a stone object of medium size or smaller. The stone no more than 5 feet in any direction, and form it in any shape that suits your purpose.
So if it's 1 foot thick, we got 25 feet of area, right?
Seems that way.
DM, can I be an
Yeah.
engineer?
Yeah, please.
Can I?
Can I do my job?
Yeah, do your job. You're the brain boy. Do it.
The biggest
Be
brain.
the brain boy.
I'm the brain
Well,
boy. I'm the one who
well, it says-
thinks.
No more than 5 feet in any dimension. So it
like that's the rock
can't
that you
be. It can't be more than 5 feet high, wide, or tall.
Oh, I thought that was the size that you had to work with. Like
I
the
thought so,
starting
too.
rock.
Yeah, the starting rock has to be 5 by 5 by 5.
Yeah, but then we can make that into whatever shape we want, right?
Yeah.
Into any shape that suits your purpose. Yeah.
Cool. So, Thok, what rocks do you see that tickle your fancy?
That one. So I see a rock.
Go
As
ahead
the
and roll
turtle
it.
slowly walks away.
I'm really sensitive. Thok is able to distinguish what a rock is, and he goes, that one.
And how big is that rock, Thok?
I go and I give it a hug.
I mean, he has a pretty big wingspan, so it's a fairly large rock.
Just say it's
Well, it's this rock.
DM.
Picking up.
Yes,
Is it 5 by 5 by 5?
yes. For the sake of argument, it's 5
Wow.
by 5 by 5.
What luck do we have?
We're very lucky.
Can we carry this rock with us and just have it? You know, for
You start
purposes
hearing
this?
like really off in the distance, but it's getting closer, like thunder and lightning about to strike all four of you down.
I'm saying nothing this entire time. The wilds aren't mad at me.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I'll just
I'm
gonna
hugging the rock.
let me be struck by a flying ice cream truck and live. So you're gonna get all struck by flying ice cream trucks. But yes, it is a 5 by 5 by 5.
This will be
Rock.
perfect.
Wow.
Too perfect.
Too.
It's a mimic
Whoa.
rock.
So, how thick should I do a Dremel? Like about an inch, 2 inch?
I mean, even better. If we do 6 inches thick, we can have 50 feet of area, which is more than enough. So I'd say make sure that the base is a little bit thicker, probably start at about 9 inches, then move up to the top where it's about probably 4. That way we have more space to create a nice stone igloo.
A stick.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I walk
Actually
over to
make-
Alder, and I
Okay.
just start playing. What is it? Rock, paper, scissors. Boulder, scissors, shears, or boulder, shears,
parchment.
parchment.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just start doing that with him because I'm lost.
I start stone shaping to Dremel's specifications.
Okay.
I do
It does.
3 times.
You do it 3 times. It takes you a good portion because Dremel is literally there. It almost feels like he's there with like he uses like at one point Alder's staff to kind of measure to make sure all the measurements are good and everything is straight. And eventually you're able to get this kind of platform that all of you can gently and dryly rest on.
It's also a dome.
It's also a dome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Ted Mosby, architect.
I
He's
hope
gonna
you don't
kill
put a
us.
fire in the dome and all the oxygen goes away.
There's a
There's
hole
a
at
little-
the top.
I
It's a
knew
little.
it.
It's a little peephole, so you're gonna smoke each other out.
No, it's so the smoke can
At the
escape.
bottom of the sea.
It's also so all the heat goes away, just like an 1800 cathedral. I thought this out. I took architecture classes.
But they're not.
Did you really?
No, I took a drawing class.
I took a drawing.
It's the same thing.
I had a drafting board and everything. It was great.
Wait,
Okay.
shit. Thought you're Carlos. You took architecture classes.
I did. 6 years.
This is the most
Carlos is
beautiful
like-
stone structure we've ever seen.
No,
Looks like
fuck didn't, honey.
It looks like the top of a Slurpee cup.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
With the ridges in the bottom and everything.
Correct. It's perforated, so if you find it,
I'm gonna take first watch. So you guys want to grab some shut eye, and then I'll come for, I guess, Dremel. You'll be next because you're my best friend.
Yeah. I'll take that. 1A. The A stands for awesome.
Definitely not asshole. For sure not that one.
Yeah.
I'll take third.
Okay. So first watch is Donner.
Yeah.
Donner, go ahead and roll your perception check as everyone is getting situated.
15.
Okay. First hour, fairly quiet. You're able to kind of stoke the fire and make sure it goes up the proper channel. Anything you're doing during your watch?
I'm reading that book Ashiki made for me about new gods.
Okay.
Just trying to learn a little bit.
Anything you're particularly like looking for of new gods, or
I'm looking for anything I may have heard of before I started missing time. Like something that my family might have mentioned, or an up and comer,
okay,
being that we were involved with gods and stuff.
right? Okay. So kind of like thumbing through it, I wouldn't say you recognize, but you recognize kind of like the patron. The symbol seems to be a very beautiful woman's face with this kind of fiery red hair that kind of goes up and flowers and different tendrils. after reading the name a few times, you can assume that this is it's pronounced Soon. You figure out about Lady Soon, that she is the deity of beauty, governance over love. Basically, her dogma is primarily concerned with love-based and outward and inner beauty. Um, and that she is a newer god and the relative of the original or the elder gods. Um, and you kind of get more information about blurbs, like when people usually get married, a priest of, or a priestess of Soon usually makes passage for that and does marriage rituals for that. You also find out things to the extent of there are very large gatherings of Soon temples, that virility and all of those are very positive. There's nothing that seems like perverse or lascivious to the extent of like perversion. And that, usually people who worship or practice Soon or worship Soon don't normally marry themselves, as they don't believe that it should be confined to one person, that love is something that evolves and kind of churns and turns into different things. And it's very rare to find a married person of Soon. And usually there is not an avatar, but a representative of Soon, and they're usually referred to as the mistress of Soon.
Okay.
That's what you learned during the watch.
Cool.
So, after your 2 hours, you kind of dog ear. You're like, okay. And pocket the book, and you wake up your next friend for their watch.
I wake up my best friend, Dremel.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man. It's your turn to sit out alone and make sure nothing comes in and tries to kill us.
Yeah, I can do that.
Sweet. That sounds great. I'm going to go to sleep now.
Yeah, so you didn't see anything? Anything I should watch out for?
I didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. Just make sure the fire doesn't kill us all.
Why do we even have a fire? It's humid as
I don't know.
fuck.
Yeah, it's hot. I don't know, but it's here.
I think I'm gonna put it out.
Fair. And I'll touch, like, if he's like got anything on his front parts, and I'll cast light on it just so he has a
Does
light.
have a front part.
Touch his PP and it lights up.
My front stinger.
You touch his cloak and his chest, and actually no, you trust his necklace for his god that you don't recognize as you put the light on that.
But I make note of it, and I'm like, I'm gonna learn about that, just not now. And then I go to bed.
Okay.
All right, nighty night.
Okay. Drem, what you doing during your watch, brother?
I guess I shouldn't put out the fire because of... Well, how bright is the moon? Is there a moon?
The moon's fairly bright. It's
I cast
not-
light on you, homeboy. It's
immediately over the dome.
No,
You
but,
know?
but I'm curious, if I were to put out the fire, would we be able to see still?
You would be able to see to an extent.
All right, I put out the fire.
Okay.
Don't you have dark vision?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Furbolgs don't.
No, for Russell.
No.
Nope.
I mean, I'm just more concerned with, like, things seeing us, but also it's hot as fuck, and I like the mountains. I'm a cold boy. So
cold big brain boy.
Cold big brain boy. So as I do that, I with the light that I have on my necklace, I cast Mage Hand and start going through all the children's drawings that they did of us.
Yeah.
Kind of going on a nostalgia trip and getting a kick out of seeing what the life that I experienced through these like 27 little shits.
Yeah. And it kind of takes you back. Growing up, you weren't exactly you didn't like kids, even when you were a kid. You thought their hands were always sticky. They always had jam hands.
You're basically Nick Miller.
Basically, you're Nick. You were. It's not that you didn't have the opportunity to become a kid yourself. It's just the kind of way your family was in the food chain. You had to kind of go your own path, and it just at one moment while you're kind of like looking through and you find yourself smiling, you kind of find how odd it is that you were able to connect so well with the kids. I mean, you've always been a performer. You've always tried to make people happy and smile, and kids are very easy targets for that. But there was a genuine kind of expression that you were able to perceive that you kind of feel good about. As, you know, you see the occasional big floppy ear. They made sure to make sure one of them was drooping. And yeah, you kind of thumb through and you find the ones that have you in it, and you make sure to take note and kind of pocket those. And then go ahead and roll your investigation check for me, or your perception, sorry.
Perception. That is 17.
17. Outside of the occasional, like, sounds outside, you don't really hear much. You do hear at one point kind of like a dragging sound, but nothing to the extent of, like, it's going on for minutes and minutes and minutes. But you do hear the occasional, like, rustling and things going against the dome.
Huh.
After an hour, your light goes out.
When that happens, I just cast dancing lights.
Okay. Like almost instant. This is during while you're looking kind of at the pictures. The minute the cloak or the necklace burns out, without even hesitating, you're already able to fling up dancing lights as if it's second nature that spell was already kind of in the back of your head, waiting just to go. Absentmindedly, almost. Yeah, you're able to flick. As you kind of like look through it, as the dancing lights kind of orbit around, sometimes it goes under your hands and you see the shadow of these hands under these very dainty little fragile pictures of crayon drawings of you and the kids and Paul and all of that. As you're able to kind of just sit there and think.
As that happens, I pull out the old spell book that I had in the prison, but not my spell book, but the one that I made.
Yeah.
And I start a journal.
Okay. So you start to write down your thoughts and feelings of what you're going through. And eventually your watch ends and you're able to kind of close. You actually use one of the pictures as a bookmark as you kind of pocket the journal, and you're able to get pretty far in it. Like you didn't realize how much you had kind of inside, as you have a good like 10 front and back pages of just scribbled like down of what you've been experiencing. And it's weird, but you kind of recenter. Everything's peaches and gravy, and you go ahead and you get your next companion.
I think I'll grab Alder, knowing that sometimes he goes into a trance and only needs 4 hours. So
I would at this point, so I could do the rest of the night without having to wake Thok, because he needs to sleep.
Would I know if he's in a trance or not? Is it visibly different?
He kind of it looks like he's staring off, and he'll talk to you, but it looks like he's not focusing on anything. So you can kind of gauge the tells of when he's in the trance, but it's not like his eyes go white and he starts, jittering and speaking in tongues,
Right, but I can tell the difference between sleeping and a trance.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, seeing that he's in the trance and knowing that he needs about 4 hours, I'll just kind of sit next to him, like staring at him, or sit in front of him, staring at him, just like a nice little pleased smile on my face.
And
Is it my turn for watch?
Yeah, I figured you only need about 4 hours, and Thok had a rough ride here.
Yeah, he needs the rest.
Also, I'm still not sure that he won't psychically punch me in the face.
Yeah, that hurt the last time that happened.
Yeah, I did not like that.
Wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, so before I go to sleep, there was it was like a scraping or a dragon, not a dragon but like a dragging, like across the side of the dome.
Okay.
So I don't know what that was. I didn't go look, but heads up.
Mm. Okay, I'll be on the lookout.
All right, bye.
Okay.
That. I heard Pat laughing. So your eyes kind of refocus as Dremel, you kind of stand up, go back into your tent, your bedroll, and just kind of lay on your side, just kind of thinking about everything that just kind of happened. Alder, you sit out, center yourself. Anything you're particularly doing for the next couple of hours?
Well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my armor and gear on, just because he gave the fact that there was a warning of a possible sound scraping against things. So just God forbid there is, I want to be prepared.
Okay.
I obviously will keep watch, and I want to read the book that Ashiki gave me,
Okay.
or at least start it, because I'm gonna assume I'm probably a slow reader.
That's perfectly fine. You're amongst good company, except for Dremel. So the first hour or so, you're able to kind of thumb through, and it's about like hour 2.5 when you start to hear that scraping that Dremel talked about. It's a little bit like longer this time, and it sounds like it's outside of the dome, but it doesn't stick around for very long.
Okay.
Okay. And eventually, within like the third hour or so, you hear that scraping, and it's for more longer kind of periods of time. And occasionally you hear just kind of this very low, almost like a frog croak. It's not like massive or huge or anything. You just hear like a regular like maybe there's a toad right next to the dome where you're kind of sitting at.
Okay.
Okay. And go ahead and roll another perception check for me.
Okay. Ooh, 13.
13. Okay, with 13, you kind of hear a creaking outside of the dome as you kind of still hear that dragging. And you kind of look up and you see this kind of orb. It's not like a floating will-o-wisp kind of orb, but it is like this kind of golden yellow. I would say maybe it's from the distance that you see, it looks like the size of maybe a softball. As it kind of just, you see it and you actually see like the film kind of go over it like it's looking at you, and it blinks, but it kind of has those alligator eyes where they don't actually have eye flaps.
And I'm going to see that, and I think I'm going to start waking everybody up.
Okay. So as you kind of see that and you're kind of keeping your eye on it, you see like a second orb, like it has two eyes looking at you, and you see the film. And then you kind of see a third one as you kind of like, okay, no, this is great. I'm fine. As you start shaking one of the tents. Which tent you going for, bud?
First one that's closest to me, whichever one it is.
Let's find out. Let's use the old D4. I would say it is Dremel.
Dremel?
Yeah. What?
That's scraping.
What?
It's here.
Oh, fuck. I rush out of my tent.
So you peek your head out and you kind of look up, and the eyes are gone, as is the moon as well, as something has eclipsed the hole in the dome. And you kind of, all four of you kind of hear this lower like, as
Did we just get eaten?
Jonah.
We'll find out. Let's go Alder first. Alder, go ahead and make a strength saving throw for me.
Oh,
Oh
fuck.
Dios
no,
mío.
that's not what I wanted to start with. 17.
17. So 17, and it gets more humid in the dome as you hear as this very large appendage it's slightly barbed on the end of it as it wraps around your leg, and you start to pull your leg back and you're like, oh God, up, as you feel the tendril lurch. You hit the back of your head as you start getting reeled up to the top of the dome. As you start panicking.
Guys.
Oh shit!
Guys, I think we got something attacking us, and I think it's frog people.
I cast frostbite at the tendril
Okay.
to try to get it to freeze in place a little bit.
Okay. So go ahead and roll the frostbite for
Oh,
me.
it's actually a con save of 16.
Con save of 16. Okay. Oof. Okay. So as you kind of hit it with that, you start seeing the ice forming around this tendril as it starts to melt and start to drip as the speed is picking up a little bit more now as he's getting reeled higher and higher up to the dome.
Shit.
As you see, Alder is upside down.
And I yell for Donner and Thok, and I say, "Boys, wake up! Donner, Thok!"
Donna comes out. Sleepy's in his eyes. What? What's up?
I just point Alder, and then when I see that he looks, I rush to Thok's tent to get him.
Okay. And you
I
just
look
kick
up.
over Fox 10.
I run back into my tent and grab my shield, my sword, and I put my hand axes in, and I run out with both hand axes in my hands, and I throw both at this tentacle that's got Alder.
Well, as the three of you start to converge and start to get everything prepared and ready for whatever the fuck this is, Alder, you find yourself going up at a higher speed, almost like you're jerked into an area that you're not quite familiar with. Essentially, when you first went in, it was a little jagged, but now it's almost soft and constricting, and it's getting a little hard to breathe.
Oh my god, you're in his stomach.
Oh, fuck.
And we'll end it there.
Oh.
It's
You can't let me get eaten and then it just ends.
I most certainly can.
Well,
We're not fighting with 5 minutes to 11.
No, I understand that, but sometimes you're a little bit mean, and I think that it's a little hurtful to have me get eaten right at the end of the thing
Well-
when I'm starting to make emotional breakthroughs.
Well, don't be at the end of the watch, man.
That's true. It is always at the end of the watch. It's never at the beginning of the watch.
No,
but
because
now
that would
it
be
will
me.
be.
Well, at
Well.
least I got my rest in. So. Oh.
I
You'll be
mean,
fine.
I can stay up if we wanna.
To have sex?
Doesn't
Maybe.
matter, had sex.
I don't know what that means, but I'm turned on.
At the
But
wheel.
also,
welcome.
I'm not. Okay.
I was
let's
gonna
wrap
say
this
if we
up.
wanted to fight, but it's whatever.
Oh, no, I need you guys frosty. This is going to take a while.
Oh boy.
Heard that.
Great.
All right, guys.
So it's not Adam. Cool.
Nope.
It is definitely a
Yeah,
big frog.
Adam has a giant tendril that just grabs you.
This is turning into some hentai real fast.
Hey, it is
Okay.
called hentai and it is art.
It's art.
I can try if you want. This wouldn't be my first time.
Naruto,
Guys.
what?
Can we wrap?
Thank you so much for sticking with us tonight and hanging out. We appreciate you. Please subscribe to our channel, favorite. Go to our YouTube page and like, comment, and subscribe there. We have a bunch of other content over there as well, depending on what floats your fancy. If you like Let's Plays or sports talk, specifically football at the moment, podcasting, any of that stuff. All there for you. So check it out, The Junk Drawer Show. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys, and we'll see you all back here next week.
After I shout out the people in the chat.
Yes.
That one.
So a big thank you to another TV viewer, Atten, Commander Root, Gandalf the Babe, Panda Windrunner, C2e25, and Wicked Sweetheart. A double thank you to Wicked Sweetheart for the 100 bits. A double thank you to Gandalf the Babe for the second month sub at tier 1. And thank you to Firewind42 for the follow.
We
What a good
appreciate
day.
you.
What a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Here next week, they're going to get eaten.